21. Dressed elegantly, hair done beautifully. Elliot Hawthorne was surrounded by a group of girls, chattering and looking around as if searching for something. However, his manners were excellent. At least the girls around him were all giggling. He noticed me coming in, his eyes lit up, and he politely apologized, broke away from the crowd, and ran towards me. I took a glass of champagne and stared at the swaying liquid in a trance. Luna. His surprised face was right next to me. I thought you wouldn't come. Can I come? I asked him. I just think you don't really like these parties. Then tell me, why don't I like them? I stared at him. He looked around but didn't dare look at me. Finally, he whispered, because she broke the gift you gave me? Do you really think so? I suddenly grabbed his hand and walked towards the Thorne family's garden, walking faster and faster. Now it coincided with the description in the book, walking the same path, rushing towards the hopeless result. I have always had high self-esteem. I already knew the embarrassing consequences, but I still had to do it. Maybe I really didn't want to accept it. Deep in the garden, in the stillness, I paused, looked Elliot Hawthorne in the eyes, and said, I like you. His pupils were yellow like honey, warm and sweet, and they were looking at me with slightly dilated pupils. He opened his mouth and was about to say something when I caught a glimpse of a long skirt hem out of the corner of my eye. Caelan Thorne. I suddenly lost interest. Pretend I didn't say anything. Good night. I ran away, knowing I was a mess. The outcome is clearly destined, clearly humiliating, yet you still throw yourself into the fire? Ridiculous. I ran desperately, without caring about my manners for the first time. On the way, I met someone who stopped me. I took advantage of his momentum and simply pulled him along to run with me. I don't know how long I ran before I stopped. The person I was holding was very quiet. I held my knees to catch my breath and turned to look at him. It's him. 22. The man who casually visited me during the day, the young master of the Vanderbilt family, Silas Vanderbilt. Cynic, cold, and paranoid. He once gave me a rose, but the rose died in the trash can. I knew he liked me, in ways I didn't understand. It was also him who smiled and said, "You are so pitiful." I have always kept my distance from him, but today, by accident, I dragged him along and revealed all the secret changes in my heart. Good night to you too. My breathing returned to normal. I didn't want to say anything more and was about to leave. Anywhere, as long as there was no one, let me stay quietly. Hey, look up. I looked up subconsciously, and the starry sky suddenly took my breath away. The long Milky Way passed overhead, also passing through countless states. Enjoy the moon together from thousands of miles away and share the stars with thousands of people. The plot, the love and hate, all left me, and Silas Vanderbilt was lying on the lawn with his hands under his head. I simply followed his example and lay down, my expensive skirt touching the earth without a care. 23. Dreams are just dreams after all, and reality is still as disgusting as ever. Elliot Hawthorne was late today. Caelan Thorne came in behind him, apologized, and sat down. Someone whispered, I heard Caelan Thorne has returned to her roots. She's pretty, rich, and has a good personality. Who wouldn't like her? Elliot Hawthorne likes her. I don't. Elliot Hawthorne caught up with me after class. Luna. I ignored him, and his voice gradually got closer. He called, Luna. Then he said, What's wrong with you? Why are you ignoring me? There was no one around. He asked me shyly in a low voice, with a tiny glint in his eyes that I couldn't understand. You last night. What did you mean? I asked back, What did Kaylin Thorne say to you yesterday? Unexpectedly, he said, Nothing. You suddenly ran away yesterday, and I went after you. He stuck out his tongue and said, You ran too fast. I couldn't catch up with you. My dad pulled me away. Do you have anything to say to me? He looked at me like a little puppy. I touched his face. My hands are always cold. I slowly moved them from his straight nose to his lips. I said, That's what I mean. He suddenly became excited. Really, Luna, you like me too? He jumped a few times on the spot, looking very excited, then rushed over and gave me a big hug. Can we be together? His body was warm, a warmth that I didn't have. I frowned tightly.
Wrong.
That's not the plot. 24. I was supposed to confess, then Kaylin Thorne would hear it and run away, and Elliot Hawthorne would chase her. I would be embarrassed, then discover Elliot Hawthorne's childhood playmate was Kaylin Thorne, so I'd steal the token and pretend it was me. Elliot Hawthorne would be furious, and cracks would begin to appear in our relationship. But that's not what happened. He said he liked me and wanted to be my boyfriend. This isn't right, I thought calmly. Warmth, like sunshine, something I long for so much. I pushed Elliot Hawthorne aside and said, The person you played with as a kid was Kaylin Thorne. I lack love, but I am more afraid of death. That book gave me an ending, one that readers rejoiced over. If I were with Elliot Hawthorne, we would eventually break up because of Kaylin Thorne. I'm really afraid of death. In the novel, I fell off a cliff and died without a complete body. The sun was too strong, but I still felt cold all over and wrapped myself tightly. If I die, how will my unwell mother live? I didn't even look back.